Um, sure. So, first, I would like to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, based on wherever you are right now. Um, I can't say I have a lot to talk about because I'm a newbie on this area, which is the wildlife conservation and so on. I hope you can hear me because I have also trouble on my network with my network. But if you are not listening, just please let me know.
Yeah, I
Um,
can hear you.
okay, perfect. So as I said, I'm a newbie in this area, but I am currently working on wolves. I had some exposure in my previous degree, and also well, Ethiopia is like one of the country with variety animal and then with gifted with nature. So I had some exposure to be interacted with wildlife, but I'm not as experienced as you guys. So I'll just try to explain about my thesis and what I did in my previous exposure and then what I am planning to do in the future. So as you can see on the first slide, I'm doing my thesis on wolf, specifically on food habit and prey selection of wolves. So there are um, uh, many predators in different parts of the world, which we call them apex predator, or maybe like the big predators who like which shape the trophic cascade. But in Italy, we don't have a big predator other than wolf. Wolf is the biggest one, and then the fox and so on. So, like for example, in Ethiopia, we have lions, we have cheetah, we have um, leopard, and so on. Also, in other, for example, Asia, we have tigers and so on. But in Italy, we don't have those animals, and the biggest cat species is wolf. So it is very important for Italian community because, as I said, it predator, the apex predator, which fixes the trophic cascade and shape the food chain is wolf. That's why we give like a credit for this area, which means like the wolf area, what the wolf is eating, their number, their availability, their everything is like very important for the conservationist community in Italy. So you can pass to the next slide, Libby, if you don't mind.
hmm
Okay, so now you can see the title that says Women in Conservation. Actually, I have heard this word for the first time when I met Andrea. I was surprised to hear that there is a group or NGO that's called Women in Conservation. So I was very impressed by that time. I didn't know actually there was a group or an NGO or a community, I would say, that focus on empowering women and for doing um, important things for the nature and so on. So, like, impressed me even that time. I was impressed and I was thinking maybe I could do something for the women in my country. Maybe I can create something for the women community there. So that's why I include the part that says women in conservation in my slide because it's very inspiring. It's very amazing because I believe that women, as a woman, we are gifted for nurturing, attention for detail, and we are naturally very responsible creatures. We know that because we have exposure with the nature. We know how the women lioness or tigeresses how they are very responsible for the nature or for the whole pack or for the family. So I believe that we as a woman can do a lot better in this area. So I was impressed to hear that for the first time from Andrea. You can pass to the next slide, Libby, please. Yeah, so I remember with my father, he used to watch a lot of documentaries on National Geography. And then I used to be very curious how the predator hunts the prey. And then I used to feel so sad for the prey, also for the predator, of course. But it was very amazing for me. That's when I started to be inspired in this area. And I used to think like maybe I could do something before even I have like exposure professionally in this area. I used to be curious, like as I said, when I was watching the animal lifestyle on National Geography. So it was a passion that time, but now it became an aim, a goal. I mean, leading to my future career. I don't know how to explain it, but it grew up with me to be in this part of like professional area. Maybe you can pass. I'm sorry if I'm talking so fast. Is this
Oh no. That's great.
or I'm not sure if I'm making sense. I didn't ask anything. Um, So, well, I started my educational area with environmental health and occupational safety. Well, it more focuses on human, but also there were a minor courses like ecology and animal behavior, something related with animal and also botany. I was invested in that part of the degree. I know there were like courses like occupational therapy and so on, which focused on humans, but I was more invested in the animal world. That's when I like realized that before it was just, inspiration, but during that time it was like, okay, this could be my, future. This could be my, I don't know how to explain it. Sorry for my English. It was like, okay, this is my dream, and I want to do something on this part in the future. That's why I applied specifically for biodiversity conservation and environmental quality, which is my master's degree right now. So, this biodiversity conservation and environmental quality, as you can see from its word, it's more focused on animal. Of course, it has parts for microbiology, bioinformatics, and also botany. But I am more attracted and interest. I have interest into the animal world. That's why I chose conservational biology as my major, and then to do my thesis, because I feel like I could do a lot, I could do better in it. So that's why I chose my major and to do my thesis on conservational biology. So next, please, Libby. So here you can see what I did in my bachelor degree and then what I am doing right now. There are some related courses with the environmental health and occupational safety and what I am doing right now, of course. So I chose, well, I had an opportunity to choose the courses that I wanted to take. So I chose the animal behavior, wildlife ecology, and biodiversity conservation by itself. So I chose those courses because I felt like it expressed me so much. Like it expressed what I'm feeling, it's expressed what I really want to do. And for Rickard, also I had a good grade on them because I don't know, I love them so much. I still love them, and I will keep loving them. And then um, it was a great opportunity for me to take these courses also. Next, Libby, please. Okay, so this is Gran Paradiso National Park, the oldest and biggest national park in Italy. The sample area that I'm doing my thesis right now. So as you can see, it is very, there is a mountain, there is a hill, there is a forest, also ices and snow and so on. It's very diversified area. Also, it occupies many animals like wild ungulates, roe deer, red deer, ibex, chamois, and also wolves. As I said, the biggest cat species here is the wolf. We don't have any other. So in this area, we find in numerous number the wild boar. We have wild boar from wild ungulates, and then we have roe deer, and then ibex, and then the red deer, then the wild chamois. But the wolves, they prefer to feed on the chamois instead of the wild boar, instead of the roe deer, even though the availability of the roe deer and then the wild boar is biggest, but they prefer to feed on, they select, or their food preference is the chamos. I believe in our assessment, we believe that wolves, they calculate their cost and benefit. So the chamos, they are big, they can feed their pack very well with the chamos, so they prefer the wild chamos instead of the wild boar. And also for the wild boar by itself, they avoid being seen. They avoid, or there is a tempo. They change their time. They change their area where they live so that they reduce being hunted by the wolves. So I believe in our thesis or in my assessment, I believe that wolf, one reason wolf, they calculate their cost and benefits. So they choose the biggest ungulate instead of the small one, even though the biggest ungulate, they are small in number. And also, too, it's a bit hard to find wild boar because the wild boar by themselves, they change the time from, for example, from daytime to nighttime or from nighttime to daytime so that they won't be noticed by the wild wolf. So this is the area, as you can see, where I am working my thesis on. Maybe yeah, thank you. So, as you can see, the methodology to know the prey availability and selection, we use camera trapping. And then to get the specimen, to identify what the wolves are exactly feeding on, we do the scat collection and then analyze the scat laboratorically so that we can get the hair, the nail, sometimes the skin and the bone, the hooves, by looking at the bone, the hair, sometimes the bone, but mostly the hair and the nails and the hooves. I try to identify by observing which animal was being fed by the wolf, and then after the laboratorical process, the second step is we try to identify which species was fed by the wolf. Microscopically. So we look at the hair, and by looking at the hair cells, we identify which animal was was being fed by the wolf. So it is non-invasive, mated, so it doesn't affect the wolves or also the prey. It doesn't affect in any way the animals living in that sample area. Can you change it to the next, please? So this is the step. First, we isolate the hair and so on. Then we do the microscope identification, and then we do the quantitative analysis. We do the we analyze the data set. So we will like extract a graph and then know which animal was fed by by the wolf from 2018 up to 2024, because I'm doing the time gap for my thesis is from 2018 to 2024. So we analyze the diet and then identify which animal, which wild ungulate was fed by the wolves during this time. So this is the step, simply, this is the step. Maybe to the next, please. Yeah. So here, the alpine chamus, as you see, it's very high in the diet of the wolves. But the red deer and the alpine, the wild boar and then the roe deer, even if they are available in the environment, they are less preferred by the wolves. When you go to the red deer and alpine ibex, they are very, very less preferred by the wolves. This pre-selection matrix can show which wild ungulate is preferred by the wolf. So as you can see, it's the wild chamus highly preferred and highly eaten by the wolves in the sample area, which is the Grand Paradiso. Maybe can you do the next? Yeah, so this explains what I said earlier. So there is a change on the spatial temporal, which is like the wolf, the wild boar, they reduce their activity at a certain time so that they won't be noticed, they won't be seen by the wolves. So I think it's a bit difficult for the wolves to find wild boar and then to like be use them for their food and so on, because there is also dynamics or change in the predator prey interaction. Maybe can you change it to the next? Yep. Okay, so you might, I already mentioned it earlier, for the question why you chose or why this project was chosen to be analyzed in your thesis. As I said earlier, the apex predator or the wolf, they are very important because at some point, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, at some point, the wolves were extinct from my sample area, which is the Grand Paradiso. And then during that time, the plants and green nature there were damaged by the herbivorous animals or by the ungulates. So humans or conservationists around there were having problem because there was no an apex or predator there to shape the trophic cascade or the flow of the food web or to regulate the ecosystem. So the herbivores or the herbivorous animal, they were basically damaging the area. But at some point, not even like the wolves were not even introduced. It was naturally the wolves appeared there and then they start again to regulate or to shape the ecosystem or the trophic cascade. So it is very important because one thing, even if I tried to analyze or to see what makes the wolf appear in that area again, which I couldn't able to find an answer. So in the past articles also it's considered that the wolves they appear naturally, maybe they migrated from other area, but the wolves they appear naturally there, and then they are currently shaping the ecosystem or the trophic cascade. So we as conservationists here, we don't want to lose the wolves because they are very important. That's why we, because this project is an ongoing project, chose to do to track their lifestyle, the lifestyle of wolves in this area. Libby, can you do the next? So I'm from Ethiopia, and after I finished my school or class, of course, I want to go back. That's why I put Italy versus Ethiopia here. I believe after seeing what is being done here in Italy, I believe we, as Ethiopian, we really need to do a lot in this area. We have endemic animals, like just like you see the red wolf or Ethiopian wolf, what we say there. They are endemic, they are very rare, registered under international wildlife, which is because they are rare, but nothing is being done there. Something they're doing something about it, but nothing is being done there to conserve them, to protect them. So I believe I can invest in my education, what I've been learning here, there. Two, one reason is this. Two, less opportunity is given to the woman there. I've tried to contact some area, some NGOs, for example, Ethiopian Biodiversity Institution and Ethiopian Biodiversity Conservation Institution, Ethiopian Federal Biodiversity Institution, and so on. I've tried to talk to them, and then many authorities in that NGOs they are men. So I believe less opportunity is given to the women, even though women can do a lot in this area. So I thought, why not? If after, of course, after I talk or I met Andrea, I said, why not? Why not I or we, me and my friends, of course, can start indigenous NGO that says women for in biodiversity conservation. Why not? Okay, so um, this is why I wrote this in Afro-Alpine. We have also alpine areas there. We have Walia ibex, the Gelada baboon, we have the red wolf, but even if they are endemic, rare, and endangered species, nothing is being done there. Also, less opportunity is given to the women. So this is my aim. Maybe after I finish the school, I can go there and do something for my own country and for my own people, also for the women in Ethiopia. Libby, can you do it next, please? I'm not looking at the slide because of the network. I hope we did. So you see, we have Italian wolf in Italy, and then Ethiopian wolf in Ethiopia, which is less than 500 individuals remain, very rare, very endangered, and also in the critical endangered IUCN Red List registered all those animals in Ethiopia. One is that. Two, local people they know which animal exists in Ethiopia in different area, but you have no idea that I was surprised to find that I knew lion existed in Ethiopia, but I didn't know me also. I didn't even know leopard exists in Ethiopia. Cheetah existed in Ethiopia. Even other animals. I was surprised to find out those animals exist in Ethiopia. So if I don't know many people don't know. So that means less work has been done to create awareness to the people. That means nothing has been done to protect and conserve these people. Still, we are losing many species because of the habitat loss, because of agriculture, and so on. But not even like an action to reduce that and to like highly do the conservational action, but nobody knows what kind of animal. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating when I say like nobody knows, but many people they don't know which animal exists in Ethiopia. So in Italy, many things is being done. Like there are camera traps everywhere to know the prey and also predator availability. And everything is being tracked and known the number, including which animal exists with what number. But in Ethiopia, no tracking, not knowing, not even an awareness, even if we have rare endemic animals. Can you do it next, maybe, please? Yeah, so this is the map of Ethiopia, and these all are not all, but for example, Bale monkey, Wale ibex, and Gelada baboon, also Monte Nyala, they are endemic and rare. They are found in different parts of Ethiopia, but nothing has been done to preserve, to conserve, or to protect all these species, even though they are rare and endemic. Also, nothing is available for women. Nothing is available for women to do or to involve or to practice in this area. Can you do it next, please? I'm sorry, guys, it's a lot, but I'm almost done.
Oh, it's great.
Okay. I already mentioned about this. I already mentioned about the Ethiopian wolf. They are red fox, but they are called the Ethiopian wolf. Okay, they are red fox, but they are called Ethiopian wolf. So don't be confused with that. I already said that. Can you do next, please? Yeah. So these are among the species that I have found recently that in Ethiopia they exist. I didn't even know they existed before. So all these species they exist in Ethiopia. Some of them they are rare, some of them they are not, but they are all endangered and need to be conserved. Okay, we can do next now, maybe. I already next, maybe. Okay, I already mentioned about this also. Yeah, this is my vision I mentioned earlier. So after I met, of course, Andrea, I really shout out for Andrea. Thank you so much for um, mentioning this during our meeting. And this is now my aim, my goal to do when I'm going back to my country, of course. So I really wanted to start first with a mini group, of course, an NGO that's called Women in Biodiversity Conservation. As I say, there is a big gap among between the genders, of course, because less opportunities given to women in Ethiopia. So maybe we can try to minimize the gender gap in environmental science because still when we say environmental science or biodiversity conservation, people mind there is a different perspective, different. I mean, they give very less credit for this area, but we can do the gender gap. Also, we can create an awareness to the people, and also we can give it. I believe I have or we as a team have to start from the scratch, like creating an awareness, giving a training and mentorship. Also, we can do the fostering community-led conservation awareness program. After we do like one-to-one or group, like five, we can do community-led conservation awareness creation. I believe we have to start from the scratch, which is like mentoring or giving a training to a small group, then pass to the community level. Can you do next, please? Livia, are you there?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you see it?
Okay, now I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, a lot has to be done in Ethiopia. Also the field, the research. Okay, so when I say the women conservation, women biodiversity conservation, women in biodiversity conservation, I believe a lot of opportunity will be open to different women in different professional area. For example, a woman or that have exposure in a field research, or the women that have exposure to conservation leadership or environmental education, community engagement, or scientific innovation, people who are like expert in innovation, people who knows, or women who knows about policy, about advocacy, so a lot of door can be open to many women when I say like to start a mini um, NGO that's called biodiversity and conservation. So we need a field research, of course. We need to know what is going on the land of Ethiopia when we say like wildlife, right? So we need to know conservation leadership, like we have to contact those bigger NGOs so that they know what is going on there, they know, and then they can help, and then they approach us on this kind of problem. So I feel like this should be the aim. This should be where we have to start, like giving education, giving training for the local people, and then um, also allowing women to to participate, to be part of this initiative or NGOs. You can say that, but even if we do, or if we start from this, I believe that we can bring a lot of difference on the wildlife or the nature in Ethiopia, or what is going on there practically right now. Can you do next, maybe? Okay, so I already mentioned it. So the future vision and goal is first we have to do the biodiversity awareness. Maybe launch a campaign to educate public on endemic species, not only endemic species, but to tell people what kind of species exactly found in Ethiopia. Also, we can start from the bottom, which is like partnering with the school, and then or we can partner from like to the school or universities here in Italy to be part of this initiative, like to to do an awareness creation projects on Ethiopia from the basic. Also, mentorship from women. As I said, we really need women in this area because I believe it's not all, even it's not from the education, but naturally women have a gift for nature, like nurturing, caring, attention for detail, being responsible, and so on. So community engagement, conservation leadership, and wildlife protection, they are very important they are my vision and goals for the future. So when we say that, we might think how we are going to do this. I'm almost there. I'm sorry for next, next. Like this is a big step, maybe. So when we say how we are going to do it, one is a digital innovation. I am planning that maybe if we create an app that people can't find easily which species exist in their own area. Also, in this app, there can be a conservation resource like the map or like that direct connection to ecotourism. For example, tourists and people who want to visit can use this app to know what kind of nature or what kind of wildlife like exists in that area, which area should be visited by me in that area. So, like in this app, they can find everything one education to like resource maybe their tour guide agencies or everything in this app they can find also plus by taking a picture they can find which for example if they see one animal and then take a picture and upload that picture they can find um, a description of that animal. So I believe that we can start from this, like creating an app that can give an awareness easily. And then also the woman who created this app, the group, or we can say the individual can benefit from this like by doing a premium use so they can help their individual to grow up, so helping people also by helping your own individual. This is my aim also, like part of my aim to do in the future. um can you do next please, Libby?
Mm-hmm.
So you see in this app, you can find a species ID, biodiversity map, species database, and then also wildlife alert, which one is like needs to be conserved and so on. Ecotourism guide, also people who want to visit, they can find the tour guide and also they can find the destination where they want to visit and so on, and which action should be done, like petition signing, donation links to Ethiopian wild conservation. In this app, you can do many things. It's a simple app, but like many things can be done with that. I think I'm done. Like you can do next, Levi, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the end. As I said, this part of my life started from curiosity, but now it ends up at conservation, conserving what exists in my own country, also in the world, like worldwide. I'm sorry for taking so long. Thank you for listening. This will be the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much, Hiwa. I really enjoyed your presentation. Does anyone have any questions that they want to ask? I do have a couple.
Okay.
I'm just going to exit out of this. I can see everybody.
Sure. Sure.
For starting, I was just wondering, why do you think that people in Ethiopia don't really know about what species exist there and what species are threatened?
I mean, nothing has been done. Even when I was taking my elementary school courses and so on, there was no like a subject which is dedicated to this part. One,
Mm-hmm.
two. I mean, Ethiopia is very, I wouldn't say very big, but very diversified and, versatile country, very like different ethnic group and so on. So, um, no one has the opportunity to go to other area to visit, you know what I mean? Even not at the school level there was no opportunity to go to visit, to go to see, no a subject that is dedicated to this part. And also maybe I would say like ignorance, the nature part is ignored by Ethiopian community. I believe that is the reason. Hope I answered your question.
Yes, I also had another question, was that here in the US there's been a lot of studies on wolves also disappearing because they were kind of viewed as dangerous and bad for humans, especially. And so I was wondering that when you said that the wolves started to come back to the park in Italy where you're studying, did people's perception of them also begin to change as they started to come back?
After they disappeared, some research was being done because, as I said, the green area was being damaged by the wild ungulates. So this is my perception, of course. This is my point of view. I believe like many awareness creation has been done in that area for the local people because it became bare land. I would say it became bare land because the green area was being fed by the wild ungulates. So I believe a strong awareness creation was being done there so that the wolf um, won't be hunted. Also, it's very strict in Italy to hunt a species. One, two. Also, it is illegal to do deforestation or to do agriculture near that area. So the legal part did also their job, to forbid people from doing any activities that is harmful for the people and so on. So I believe one is the legal part, two, awareness creation also helped the local people not to harm the wolves because they are very important. I believe I answered your question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask before we end?
Yes, if I may.
Mhm.
Hi, Heather. Thank you for
Hi.
your presentation. It's really, really interesting to learn about your work, and it made me so curious to go back and learn about Indian wolf species that we have here, and the relationship that people share with wolves here. One thing that made me curious while you were sharing how inspired you are to take your project to Ethiopia and start something, some trainings with the women. I was wondering um, if you might be open to exploring what existing relationships women and the communities around the wildlife spaces already share with the wolves. Because in my
Mhm.
experience of working with communities, um, that often turned out to be a very successful starting point. It's something that would build connections very easily. Um, so I just curious if you've thought about that as well.
I'm sorry because of my network. I just heard some part of what you said. Please, can you repeat? Is it my network? I don't know.
Oh, it's okay. I can repeat. It's
Can you hear
probably my
me?
network. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes. So I was curious if you're also exploring what existing relationships women in the communities, women in Ethiopian communities might already share with the wolves as a starting point. Um, I when I work in India with local communities, and I've worked both ways. Sometimes I have gone straight in doing awareness sessions around mostly around snakes, and what really helped was a change in the approach and perspective of going in with something called as appreciative inquiry instead of problem solving. Basically, starting from a point of a positive interaction or just memory sharing around wolves or that particular wildlife. Because what I found is people usually share close relationships with their environment, and it might be helpful to start from there. So I was wondering if you've thought about that.
Okay. I don't know how to explain. It's like this. The local people, they know what exists around them. It's just one local people don't know what exists in other local people. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if I understood your question. Is this they know what is useful, they know what is important regarding the environment or their nature around them, but they don't know what exists in other area, you know? So maybe if we do like community-based awareness sharing, you know, like that, maybe it might be helpful. That's my thought. Generally, when we see the whole community, they don't know what exists in one another area, but they know what exists in there. Even they know which plant species is useful for medicine and so on. And I mean, if we are talking community based, one community has a positive point of view with other communities. So maybe if we do the uh, knowledge exchange regarding what exists in their own, also, you know, women, they do locally, they do something. They go to do something. They go to the forest to, I wouldn't say to hunt, but to gather some herbal medicine and so on. But I know it's very difficult because of the culture. I don't know if I got your point. I'm just answering based on what I heard.
No, you're totally, it's totally fine. I don't know if I was good enough at sharing my question, but that's basically what you said. How women regularly visit the forests generally tend to have a great or a deep relationship, with their environment. So, what I was basically getting at was maybe that can be a very good starting point
Yes,
for the awareness and
yes.
the training sessions to just establish a baseline of what what's the relationship that everybody there shares with the wolves. It might be helpful to design the training according to that. Uh, I,
That is true. That is true. Very true. But you know, I it's just I'm not saying we don't have hope. Actually, we have hope as a country because they locally they have knowledge and then they allow women to do something. I have hope. I believe that. But it's just there is when you say okay, let's conserve the nature, let's conserve wild. The people mindset is I don't know how to explain it. They give less credit for this area. They don't think it's very important, and we need that part, you know. So I have a hope, as you said, it's very hopeful, but we need to do a lot of work at the same time.
Awesome, thank you. And
Are
you're
you there,
obviously very
Simran?
experienced. Yes, yes. I'm sorry. I've just turned off my camera because we have a lot of people in around me. Um,
Okay.
but I just wanted to say congratulations. I think this is a very exciting and interesting project, and I wish you all the success for it. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Simran. Thank you so much.
I
Thank you
just
so
want to
much.
say thank you. I just want to say how truly happy I am to have to meet you. And your passion and vision inspire me deeply, really, really. And I'm so happy to. I want to, like, thinking now the young people is inside the social media. What do you tell the girls you work with to make them fall in love with the wildlife, not just for a photo, for real, like feel the land, feel the ground, feel the trees, see the animals like in nature. How you can you inspire young children, young people?
You ask me what would I tell or how would I explain that?
No, like how you can do that, something like that. It's like if you have an idea to start to working with that people in the country and everywhere.
So I will answer as I understood your question. Okay, I will answer like this. I will use myself as example. Before, like watching the nature was fascinating, but I didn't know the importance, how much important the nature or the wildlife by itself for us, even for human being existence, So, like, I don't know, maybe practically it might be helpful to tell people or to tell the woman, okay, sorry, what? Beside the photo, what makes them fall in love? um, I, it's just the through time, this kind of feeling comes through time, Andrea. It's not one time thing. This is my lived life experience. First time when I see the picture, when I see the presentation or the PowerPoint that my professor used, I would say, "Oh, they're so cute." But after living the what exists there, nature by itself attracts human beings. So I believe through time, I believe practically, I believe when they spend more time. When I say more time, it might be 1 month, it might be 1 week, it depends on the person. They will realize that it's part of our life, it's part of our heart. For me, the feeling is different, to be honest. If you see my Instagram page, it's full of the animals. Even the channel that I follow is the wildlife, no other thing. So it's lived experience. That is what I would say. I'm sorry if I make it so long.
It looks like Andrea has another question, and maybe would you like to ask a question? Sorry.
Hi,
Hi.
Andrea, can I go before you? Okay. Sorry, I really tried to change my name on the. It's Sylvia. I hope you guys remember me.
Yeah.
Um, what a nice presentation. Really nice to see, the passion that grows over time. And I think to me, I reflected with what you're saying because even me, I wasn't in the conservation space. And I think over time, like you're saying, it could be a month, it could take however long, but it actually does take time and it takes time for you to see and to fall in love with nature. I was like that also, and when I came into this space now, I have so much passion, and I even get to tell children and everyone in my community and women about conservation and why it is so important, and even to the tiniest of animals. I see you're so focused in wolves, but even to the tiniest of ants, and because it's a whole biodiversity. So I just wanted to share my comment and to say congratulations for taking such a big step. And yeah, please share your Instagram page. We will follow you. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Sylvie. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, team. That was powerful. Ah,
we really appreciate for that presentation. I've been doing some things, but for conservation, but that is just inspiring. I'm really inspired, and I know I'll do something for the women in Kenya. I think Libby, I shared something last week or on my Facebook page. I was so much saddened to see 2,000 girls just between January and March dropping out of school because of pregnancies. It really disturbed me, and I was unwell for some time because of the news. But I'm okay. We have a meeting next week just to go and mentor girls. We are going there to do a very big meeting of over 1,000 girls, 8 schools coming together, and I really appreciate. I know I will forward the message. So thank you, team. I'm really glad to be in this group. It's enlightening me day by day. We are learning. Thank you so much, Women for Conservation, for everything that you are doing. Thank you, friends.
Thank you.
Yes.
And Hiwa, if you would like to share your social media or anybody so that we can all connect with one another in the chat.
Oh yes, yes, please. Can I share to your
Yes. Feel free to send in the chat.
on the chat, because I am not seeing where I can send it here. I'm not seeing. So let me share to your page. Wait, Libby. Sorry, that's Penina.
In the chat or also in the
Chat.
WhatsApp works as well.
Yes. Penina Tauta in Facebook. That is me, or Masai Girl Initiative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining today. It was an amazing presentation from Hiwa. I really loved hearing about your work and how inspired you are to bring your learnings to Ethiopia. Thank you so much. And with your permission, Hiwa, I will share the slides in the WhatsApp group so that everyone can see them if they want to, who did not have the chance to join today.
Sure.
And Katrin, thank you for joining us, but I think we are just finishing up from Hiwat's presentation. If you would like, I will also share the slides with you so that you can see her work. But yeah, thank you. If anybody has any other questions they'd like to ask. Otherwise, I think that wraps up our meeting for May. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
it was great to see you all.